Hey, this is Prometheus giving you This Week in Madden, March 28th, 2021. Right now, we got a lot of competitive Madden series going on. The Regs Championship is going on this weekend. We also have got Draft Championship going to be going on next week. So you're going to see a lot of new tips coming out from the community, people that were basically taking away from the competitive Madden players. So I actually got 4 people that are going to be featured in This Week in Madden. Some of these tips are obviously were released before these final games, but gonna have 3 defensive tips and 1 offensive tip to help you guys lock up a lot of the meta stuff that's going on. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Alright, so this YouTuber is DJ the Chef. I think he definitely has more subscribers from when I took the screen capture, but he's actually going to show you a defensive setup that's going to take away that delayed fades, the PA crosser type play, and how he eliminates the delay fade with this bigger defensive setup. It's always good to have other ways to go and shut down a lot of these money plays. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
You can keep the quarterback in the pocket. You'll see that the guy actually, he doesn't really leave him. He just stays on him. Keep him in the pocket, you release him, and he kind of stays on him. Breaking the pocket is the key to this actual play, which is why you see everyone scramble out, okay? Now I'm gonna show you how we beat that though. This is how I like to beat this play. So what I like to do is stay inside of a man coverage, and I'm gonna stay in nickel 3-3-5 here because it's one of my base formations. And what I'm gonna do is make sure that my extra guy or my blitzer is actually on the side of the field where everybody's running to, which is on this play is gonna be the right. So what you're gonna see is me actually flip this play and put my blitzer on the right side and let my outside linebacker on the left cover my B receiver. My wide receiver is gonna go on an intermediate route to the right side, and then your X receiver is running that post. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy on a curl flat, and my curl flats are normally at like 20 to 25, so he should be able to cover anything that's out here, especially since it's coming from the wide side of the field. He should be underneath that. So what I like to do with my corner that's responsible for the tight end is, since man is going to get glitched out once he gets outside that pocket, I just go ahead and put him in a quarter. So I'm basically going to select him by pressing YY twice, selecting B, and then pressing right or left on the right stick, which is going to put him in a quarter. I'm also going to put my free safety or my strong safety A in a inside quarter as well. So now it looks something like this. This guy is going to take basically this sideline here. The quarter route is going to be just in case we run that deep post gets open on the backside, and he's going to play more so here for that post route. So basically what I have is a man zone concept that I've set up. So the next part of this defense is what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle linebacker. Your middle linebacker are the person who's responsible for covering that running back. Most people are going to block their running back, so it gives them time to get outside that pocket. Now, if they don't block their running back, they're going to normally throw it short for them. Your goal here is to stop the delay fade. Everything else should basically be mostly covered. If that running back goes out to the flats, you just have to live with that, make the tackle. Now it's gonna be really hard for me to show you by myself because it's hard for me to scramble and cover the delay fade at the same time, but I wanna show you what it would look like without me doing anything. So as you can see right now, pretty much all of our routes are covered down the sideline, and you're left free to cover those 2 people. So let's go into instant replay real quick. So I'm gonna show you how this works without me actually running the delay fade, how the computer naturally covers this route without the intervention of the delay fade. So what you're gonna see is all 3 of my receivers have a man on them, and I have this purple route here who's actually sitting at, I believe, like 10 or default, just because I haven't changed it yet. And I have a quarter route here, a quarter route here. Now we all know these quarter routes kind of come down a little bit, so you need to be really careful about this backside post because you'll see that it does start to come open. So if you want to take him off a quarter and put him on a deep hash, you absolutely can. Or if you want to put him in the middle of the field, you can do that as well. That way he's not sinking out this way. But off gate, you'll see that we have all 3 of these routes bagged. All of these routes are absolutely bagged. And like I said, you can put this guy on a deep middle of the field, okay? So we have 3 guys on him. This route is covered, and this route is basically covered with the adjustment of your safety. Now all you have to do is sit in the middle field and worry about this delay fade.
This next YouTube tip is from VENM Fire, more established YouTube channel out there, but it's just a really good tip. He talks about a simple defensive tip to go ahead and stop the run. This is something that was used a lot in last year, and a lot of people kind of got away from it because most people are using basically the 3-3-5 wide defense. But this is a good way to, if you run into a situation where you got an opponent that likes to run the ball, jump into this very simple defensive setup, and you can actually go and shut down the run if you got a guy that likes to spam the run against you.
But for now, we're going to hop into the run D. So again, I pressed. The next thing we're going to do is pinch our defensive line, and then we're going to slant outside. Now this is going to allow us to shoot through the gap. The gap we're shooting through is right here in the middle. Now, deciding who you're going to use her, it's pretty simple. If the strong side, the side you expect them to run the ball to, is going to be the right, you're just going to use this left-hand guy. And also, it's going to be nice to leave that true rec hook on the field. More times than not, no one will ever put the fullback out on a route. If they do, it's going to be an easy user for yourself. So I feel comfortable doing this. I just throw my user on a little blitz. Again, it doesn't really make a difference. Now, the reason I'm using two controllers here is to time it, because again, if I were not using the second controller, it's going to be difficult for me to time because I have to leave my user completely still, wait for the CPU to snap the ball, and then I have to run again. So it's going to be better if you can get some momentum, so I can kind of like move around here, just get your guy moving. So it's going to be, half a second, a split second, shaved off your time, and that ultimately could make the difference. So I'll kind of run through here. I believe I'm in the dive, but I'm just going to snap the ball, and boom. So that was late. That was definitely late by me. I'll show it again there, but you see how you're going to need perfect timing, and even me, snapping the ball with a controller, just getting distracted for a little bit, ends up making, a small difference. So I'll snap it again here, and boom. That is what it looks like. That is what a perfect scenario run defense looks like. And you saw I actually got so close, so fast, that I almost ended up sacking Carr before he was able to get the ball off. Look, he's very, very close there. Maybe if I tap X, I'm actually able to snap it, but that's neither here nor there. The main point is that we just time it perfectly. You see how the gap shoot works, how these guys are not going to end up having a chance to block your user in the middle of the field. Really, your biggest concern with like an I-form formation is going to be that fullback, but even him, he gets like to the right a little bit. Obviously, the QB has to hand the ball off, so he's going to go to the right, by system, by default. That's why you need the timing, because if you're a split second late, he can actually end up picking you up. If he were to bounce it out, you see how Sherman actually is able to get off that block, or not even get blocked on that side. But you see how you even though I got a perfect run there was a little bit of room for error, meaning if I didn't time it as good, I still could have got there. So even if I was like a split second later, it still would have worked. So again, I'll snap it, boom, and right there, able to get him in the backfield really, really early. Now, if it's working this good against I-form, just imagine it against single back. You're not going to have that fullback. It's going to be almost guaranteed to work every single time. Again, you can throw your user on a blitz. I'm not sure that really makes a difference, but if you're kind of slacking, it'll guide you a little bit towards the offensive line. Again, just snap the ball, boom, easy gap shoot. Now that time I actually did get blocked. I think I might have hit sticked a little bit early, and that's actually what engaged. So that was definitely a user error, but it's not necessarily guaranteed to work every time, but you see in the runs that it's not working. We're still getting pretty good coverage. Again, as I mentioned, if you press your defensive backs, Richard Sherman should come off the block. You still have this other linebacker. You have 4 down linemen. You have potential to get a shed. So even if you, in the rare occurrence that you're not able to shoot through the gap, it is not too big of a deal. Again, you see there, that time I just purposely timed it perfectly. I kind of sprinted the line, but you actually could potentially sack the QB. Again, just press, pinch D-line, slant outside. Same old, same old. This defense was really popular. It used to be really popular. The run game was a little bit better. Not too many people run the ball as much, but you'll still see if you play draft champs a lot, this is a really good defense for that. It's a really good defense for regs because, again, you don't have all those abilities to help you out. You don't have as much speed, and this is really, really easy to master.
If you guys have been watching this series, you know I'm a huge fan of Zan. He's got by far the best tips online. He's definitely next level experience, and he actually shares basically a simple run play that you can utilize to expose people that run the 3-3-5 wide defense against you. So if you run into somebody that this is a good offensive play to go ahead and throw into your scheme, and then basically go ahead and play that chess match against your opponent. So let's go ahead and jump into Zan's tip.
Talking about the best RPO scheme that you can run after the most recent title update. So as you guys know, EA put out a AP update that changed the ability point cost of a lot of the popular abilities that were being used out there. The most popular of which was the one step ahead. So now players are no longer able to run 3 one-step aheads on their defense and sit back in 2-man under or Mike Blitz 0 or really any of the man-based defenses every single play. Man is now a defense that rather than a base, it's something that is more of a mix-in. And as a result, you're going to see a lot of players that are going to go into basically what is called double Mabel. Mabel coverage, for those that don't know, is referring to basically having a short flat zone, a medium zone on the sideline, and then typically you've got a deep outside zone over the top of that. It's basically a coverage that is designed to take away flooding sideline concepts. So this particular RPO is something that we're going to break down that is going to take advantage of that particular meta. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to call zone peak RPOs. These RPOs are best run with an escape artist quarterback and the running back on the handedness side of the quarterback, meaning that if you have a right-handed quarterback, then the running back needs to be on his right hip. If you guys are using a left-handed quarterback that has escape artists like Mike Vick, you're going to want the running back on the left side. Hopefully that makes plenty of sense for you guys. So let's go ahead and take the field here and explain why this defense or this RPO is going to attack this double Mabel defense so well. So as you guys know, nickel 3-3-5 is the most popular defense in the game. Whether you want to run zone or man, it is viewed as the best defense because you can shift the line to one side or the other, pinch those linebackers, and basically fly through the middle and take away so many of those inside runs from the shotgun, whether it be inside zone, base, even gap shoots for traps. Sometimes you can shoot the gaps out of this. But what a lot of players are actually going to do now is they are going to set up a double Mabel in which they're going to have basically all their zones to the sideline and a ton of responsibility over the middle of the field with their user. So what this will kind of look like is you'll see guys playing cloud flats and then they'll take those outside linebackers and put them into those purple curl flats. And a lot of players will go even further, and what they'll do is they'll set those blue zones in their coaching adjustments to 25, and then they'll have these purple zones set at 5. And then what ends up happening is they try to fly in with their user to make this play. Now, the really awesome thing about this peak RPO, whether it be an inside zone peak or a base peak style RPO, is that you've got a slot slant. And the beautiful thing about this slot slant is that so many players right now in the 3-3-5 wide want to fly in on every single one of these inside zones, which leaves that slant wide open over the middle. So what we are trying to do here is establish this culture of kind of a triple option style peak RPO. We can either give the ball to the running back, we can throw the pop pass over the middle to that slant, or we actually have the ability to pull with the quarterback as well. So let me go ahead and show this to you again. So depending on the type of RPO, your icon might change. Right here, my slant is the right bumper, but what so many players are gonna do is they're gonna try to fly straight down. And when you see them do that, you could throw that slant right over the middle behind them. A lot of players have ignored the peak style RPOs because users typically lurk the middle of the field. Well, here's the thing. When you're facing the nickel 3-3-5, this is a defense where every single shotgun run is responsible. Basically, the user has responsibility for that. So if I don't go, I can take that handoff and continue running. Now, obviously, I'm lurking on both controllers at the same time, so I can't do that. But you obviously see that I have to go through the middle here with this particular user. Now, let's go ahead and say, for whatever reason, that we have thrown the pop pass a few times to the tight end. So now what ends up happening is your opponent is kind of savvy. They're kind of sitting back in the middle of the field with this user trying to take away this. They're not shooting that run nearly as effectively. Now, like I said, obviously, you still have the ability to hand this ball off and try to fall forward, whether it's a base or an inside zone style RPO. Or the real draw to this is going to be what I'm about to show you with the escape artist. So as you guys remember, I talked about at the start of the video how the escape artist is pretty important for this tip. And the reason that it's important is that you can actually fly in with the escape artist behind the running back with immediate control. So you're gonna see here, when this happens, I can just scramble right away. And what typically ends up happening is that slant will turn into a blocker for you. So let me go ahead and kind of show you what I mean here. Like if I were to set up this double Mabel with the purples and the blues on both sides, and then, you know, I have this guy that's trying to shoot in this gap right here, they have to sit back on this. So what ends up happening is when the player sits back and doesn't shoot that gap right away, you can actually turn into a runner with your quarterback, and now you're going to have the ability to use that slant as a lead blocker, and you can kind of scoot up the middle for extra yardage. Now, these
and this final tip is going to be from Mile High Chosen One. Once again, I'm very high on Mile High Chosen One. I feel that he's got one of the best tips channels out there. Competitive player, and he simplifies the way he runs his schemes. So you guys can subscribe to his channel. Once again, here's a good tip. He's going to talk about how to go and shut down those RPOs, the bubbles and the runs, and having a good stout run defense, because I've ran into people that run RPOs and sometimes you can give up touchdowns based on not being prepared for it. So this is his defensive setup.
Let's go to our coaching adjustments, right? And let's put our curl flats, that purple zone, let's put it at 0. If you guys know anything about the zone drop, if you put it at 0, it's at the line of scrimmage. So he's not going to be bagging up anymore. He's going to be shooting straight to the line of scrimmage. He's going to have an opportunity to make a play on the ball. You know, so what we're going to do is we're going to come back out in that cover 3. Let's find the 5-wide bubble. Now, let's still set it up the same way by bringing him in. Now I want you to watch how Tart play it. Instead of bagging up, he's shooting straight down to the line of scrimmage. He still got blocked, which is another setup that we're going to do to make him not get blocked at all. He still got blocked. Let's look at it. But as you guys can see, he's making a conscious effort to get over there and try to play that bubble now. He's coming straight downhill. This was a good block by Kelsey. And just like that. So at least we got him going straight to the bubble now. Now, another step, and this is the step that's going to break this whole scheme up, is basically utilizing, we're going to use a Maple zone on that side of the field with the 0 zone drop. Now, what I like to do is I like to put this safety, instead of having him in that purple, I like to put him in a curl flat. That curl flat is going to have him play top down on any zone, on any route that's in his zone, and the route in the zone is that little bubble. They're playing DN. We're going to put him in a purple. Now, what's going to happen is that purple is going to play 0, and that cloud flat is going to play top down. Now, I want you guys to see how it look now. Mind you, this is an aggressive look. Now we both getting over there. Now we can make a play on the ball. You see what I mean? Because we're playing a little bit aggressive. Let's do it again. And then we're going to get into the trips tight end offense. You know, let's put it right here. This is how we want it to look. Bring them in aggressive. Mind you, only reason we're doing this so we can stop the inside zone out of the trips tight end. Now we can play the inside zone and we can play the bubble screen. We ain't got to worry about it no more. Here, you see they playing it. You know what I'm saying? The computer waiting too long in game, he's going to get sacked. Like, I don't know why. That's why I hate practice mode. Practice mode never allow you to do what you're trying to do in practice mode. Do it again, and then we're going to get into the trips tight end. Hopefully we get a pick this time. Here. There you go right there. And that's the pick that we're looking for. And that's exactly what you want your opponent to do. You know what I'm saying?
So this concludes This Week in Madden, March 28th, 2021, guys. Once again, if you do like this stuff, make sure you go ahead and comment below. Give me a thumbs up. I'll keep putting together these videos. I just basically go through some of the most common defensive tips and offensive tips and try to break some of the stuff down that can help you guys take your game to the next level. If you have a new YouTube channel and you want to get featured in this, please let me know. Comment down below and we'll communicate on a video that you want to feature on it. So once again, thank you for support, guys. Until next time.